Hi everybody, welcome back to Goodnight, Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy and I'm here to read you another story. And I'm going to read you a story about a castle. A town that used to have a whole bunch of castles, but now they only have one left. And this book is called The Very Last Castle. The Very Last Castle. This is a book about a town where there's only one castle and one castle guard. And everybody's afraid of the castle because they don't know what's in there. Until one brave little girl decides to find out. And we need to get inside this book and find out what's going on with this very last castle. Are you ready to get inside this book with Miss Dorothy? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go. The Very Last Castle. Words by Travis Jonker. Pictures by Mark Pett. In the middle of a small town stood something you might not expect. A castle. It was in fact the very last castle. There had been others, but over time they had all been taken down or fallen apart or been destroyed. All but one. For reasons no one could remember, no one ever came out, and no one was allowed in. Wow, there's a castle there? Up in the tower, the guard watched the townspeople silently pass by. And then there was Ib. Look at Ib. Every day she walked past the castle all alone. Every day she stopped. She looked up. She saw the lone guard standing stone still. Plunk! She threw a rock in the water. Since no one has been inside the castle, the townspeople had ideas about who or what was in there. Snap, snap, snap. Monsters, said Miss Wicks. Miss Wicks thinks there's monsters in there. Thud, thud, thud. Giants, said Alex. Alex thinks giants are in there. But the castle just stood there, whether it snowed. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Snakes, said Ib's grandfather. Ib's grandfather thinks snakes are in there. Maybe it's something terrible, Ib thought one day, but maybe it's something else. Plunk! She threw another rock in the water. The next morning, Ib walked past the castle. She stopped and looked up at the tower. No guard. Ib had an idea. She floated across the moat, walked up to the door, and with all the strength she had, knock, knock, knocked. She's knocking on the castle door. Hiss, hiss, hiss. She thinks she hears snakes. Ib didn't stop running until she was sitting at her desk at school, scared and out of breath. Maybe Grandpa was right. She didn't tell anyone what had happened. Not long after, an envelope arrived. Inside was an invitation. Your presence is requested at the front gate of the castle on Sunday at noon. Someone's inviting her to the castle? Everyone told Ib to stay away. Monsters, said Miss Wicks. Giants, said Alex. Snakes, said her grandfather. Maybe it's something terrible, Ib thought. But could it be something else? She's very curious. On Sunday, Ib stood all alone outside the front gate. With a loud thunk, the drawbridge began to lower. She trembled. She looked up at the tower. Empty. She took a deep breath. Slowly, Ib did something none of the townspeople had ever done. She walked inside. She's going into the castle. It turned out Miss Wicks and Alex had been right. There were monsters. Monsters carved out of the bushes. And there were giants. But no snakes. It doesn't look scary at all. Welcome, came a voice. A kind voice. It was the guard. He removed his helmet. He was much older than Ib had expected. I'm the last one left. May I show you around? He's a nice guard. For the rest of the day, Ib and the guard, his name was William, visited every corner of the castle. Before long, they were pruning near the great hall, snap, 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 and harvesting by the palace, thud by thud, thud. They ended up where they had started. Why now? Asked Ib. All the other castles are gone, answered William. Someday I will be too. I want someone brave to take my place. Someone curious. Will you help me? Ib thought about William all on his own. She thought about her family and friends outside the castle. She thought, and then she knew. "Yes," Ib replied, "but I have a request." What's Ib going to ask of him? In the middle of the small town stood the very last castle. Sometimes someone came out, and everyone was welcome in. Hiss, 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 went the hose. They're inviting everyone into the castle, so now nobody has to be scared, and William doesn't have to be alone. Wow! Now everybody loves the castle, and everybody goes into the castle. They were afraid of the castle because they didn't know what was in there or why it was there. And then Tia got really, really brave, and she went to the castle. And when she went in, she met William, the castle guard, and found out, wow, this is a great place. There's no monsters and snakes and scary things. Just a really nice guy taking care of the castle. And now all the people go in, and everybody loves the castle. What a great book. I'm so excited that Tia was brave enough to go figure that out. You know, sometimes we see things and we think something that just might not be true. And we build up things in our head that it's scary. And it's not scary at all. We just need to figure it out and give it a chance. And now Tia has a new friend, and everybody gets to go to the castle, and they work on those beautiful bushes that they shape like animals and monsters. That is really, really cool. I would love to be able to do that, but I don't know how to do that. Maybe I could learn. I could if I tried hard enough, because we can do anything we put our mind to. You remember that. And another thing I need you to remember, whatever your questions are tomorrow, if you're worried about something, if you're curious about something, ask your mom and dad. They'll help you out. And whatever they say and whatever you do, obey, and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy, because I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye! Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it, and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.